Hello everyone, welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Actually had a nice long session talking economics and of course trade setups with the good folks here today. It was Brian's solo session. I love to take time through the daily brief and answer questions site members had, and one particular question we had today. Yeah, we took some time. So if you, if you happen to be a site OG or something like that, and you're watching this recap later on, we did a really cool sort of walkthrough tutorial on studying interest rate spreads. And I don't know whether I put the chart away or not. I might have. And what those spreads are actually telling us right now about what to expect out of the economy going forward. And unfortunately, it's not really the best scenario. See how this thing's sort of turned back up. And we had that. And turned up. And we have that. And you can see how we are turning back up here. So who knows how this happens. Of course, we all know that this is supposed to be the big transition period from baby boomers to millennials. We also know that recessions usually happen in years that end in sevens, eights, nines. Usually actually more like eights, nines, zeros, ones, and twos. I can't remember the last time I heard of a recession happening in a seven. But anyway, that's here nor there. We are in a zero. And probably, looking back over time, we're probably going to find that 2021, 2022, it's going to be sloppy, ugly, messy. Interestingly enough, one of the areas of the market that you could argue was a leading indicator to take us out of that last recession was cryptocurrencies and the euphoria around the 2012, 2013 mania bull move. The, what do they used to call it? The Willy bot that they let loose following the Silk Road reversal. So, actually, I think it was the Silk Road, case judgment reversal bar. But anyway, we don't need to go into that today. So, I love the idea of pullbacks. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. You all know the story. Pullbacks into reload zones, into cost of production on cryptocurrencies. Buy the shit out of that stuff. But don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. And if anything, I think, if we look at Bitcoin, but if you look at this shit perp index, this is a perfect analogy. Anybody you chase, they're just dying 1,000 deaths. And lo and behold, they bring the market back down to the bottom end of the range. And we had a nice talk about this in the daily brief today. Lo and behold, gee whiz, what's that? What letter of the alphabet does that kind of look like? Down, up, down, breakout. So I get the feeling that, if you come in and chase a market up top here, that's exactly stock market, oil market, crypto market, the risk assets. You got your ass fucking kicked there over the past 3 or 4 days, and hopefully you learned a very hard lesson about why we have to trade setups. If you didn't learn that, I would actually suggest you put your money away, you get into the school program, and you learn how to run a small business of trading. With that said, I actually get the feeling that a lot of the fluff has been taken out of the market. And we actually started talking about some bullish setups that are starting to look really interesting in crypto right now. Go figure. Oh, well, what can you do? Okay, so your conversation here. US dollar index looks like maybe it went a little too far too fast into resistance, down day. So that's sort of a risk on kind of proxy. Sure enough, stocks are dead cat bouncing off their lows. Hell, they might even put in a key reversal here. Who knows? We opened up lower. Let's see where we close the day. I told you guys before, we've got this effective short trade on right now in the crude. So we're just waiting for market structure to move stops lower. So nothing really to do there now. You can see a big gap here at 39. Looks like there's also a gap here at 41. If she does work her way all the way back up to our original entry, we'll walk away at scratch. Shit happens. Wait for the next boss. Bond market, we kind of talked about potential W's trying to come in here, so let's keep a close eye on the bonds. However, if the stocks are like, that's it for correction, we're heading back up. Wall Street came back from their summer vacation. They knocked the silliness out of the market. Then they actually used those backing up windows. You notice these tails right here on the stocks. Clearly, there was some buying interest down in that area. Also, notice this is a structural breakout. Think big W. So what a surprise. They bring it down into this area, and she finds some sort of bottom. If we start to see serious moves right back up, keep in mind these are V tops on the stock. So, in fact, we were looking at the NASDAQ. This is an island top, and it is kind of a funny conversation. You think you're buying the QQQs, the NASDAQ stock market, a big basket of stocks. No, you're not. This is Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon, the big five companies. And you can see that if you buy the QQQs, you're just buying these guys. So, because this is a V-top, because there's gaps up top here, believe it or not, I actually expect this market to go right back up and fill those gaps in. So, if that's the case, we might find that the bonds fall apart here and continue cascading lower. Can't really suggest anything significant happening here in bond market land. Probably if this, you can see there's a downtrend line here. So if we do actually break this downtrend line on structure, that'll actually be a pretty big message to me that this stock market just can't go any further. But I don't see that right now. So you can see how they rallied it back to it, then big smackdown. Keep in mind, if we change this to a line chart, that's a new closing low. So if anything, this, interestingly enough, is actually validating thinking higher stock market, higher oil prices. And unfortunately, like a lot of those leisure and travel stocks I was interested in, they're coming off here today. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, there's no real new signal here today. Interesting. We've been watching the gold market very closely for the past little while. I don't know whether this line here itself is actually drawn correctly, but ideally I'd like to see a W come in on the other side of this trend line. If this W comes in like this, I don't like that. So this is a bought entry level for another continuation trade on the gold higher. Give me some sort of nice little W in here, please, and then maybe I'll join you. But I don't think that's going to happen. I got a feeling this is just going to go straight up. And if I miss a trade, so fucking what? I mean, Jesus, there's tons of trades out there. But I'm watching, of course, I think I've shown you guys before. I like to trade the big gold stocks as my proxy in that space. And I was watching Newmont very closely. I like to watch Newmont. Oh, look at our MGIs taking off here. Nice. That's good to see. Actually, I was wondering what to talk to you guys about in stock market land, but I see some of these little mining stocks that were interested. It's starting to get going again here. That's probably a sign that the metals are getting ready to go. I think I had shown you guys Newmont before. I like to trade this big gold stock. Actually, I thought I had all the levels drawn up here. Where is that? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, Brian's going crazy. Where the hell's that damn Newmont chart? Oh well, it's around here somewhere. You can see 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. This is starting to look very body. I would have preferred that this W, same thing with the gold itself, right? W comes in on the other side of trend line, so it's a bit splotchy. But I might, like I said, I noticed that money's starting to come back into some of these mining names, even the junior pieces of crap that I'm interested in of late. These things are catching a small bid, so I get the feeling I wouldn't actually, maybe when I'm done here today, I might go do like a mid-cap gold screen just to see what they look like. Because I do see, like, I can't figure this one out. Timberline, I mean, we're long from down here. They just keep buying this damn thing. It's so remarkable. Somebody came in and bought another, 83,000 shares here today. Jesus Christ. So they still have an appetite for the gold and the metals. In fact, actually, I was kind of looking at, here's a kind of a fun one. This is a VCIMer. Like, this is the kind of name where you pick up some of this stock down here at 10, 15 cents. Easily, I think this stock's probably good for a buck and a half down the road. But it's just my opinion, of course. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. You do whatever you want. But I'm long a bucket load of that stock. And Kevin was telling me it's putting in a key reversal down in the U.S. on 6,000 shares. So that's definitely got to be a power signal. Maybe, who knows. Actually, and I did see, I had actually one casualty here today. So this was the name that I picked up here. I think if it closes like this on the day, I think I'm just going to blow it out, take the loss. He's an earnings name, and he failed on earnings. If you have companies that are earnings plays and they fail on earnings, be careful. This market could be absolutely merciless if you don't deliver on earnings. Wow, I kind of went off on topic. I was trying to find some gold names for you to look at, but I don't really see anything jump out at me here. I might do a little bit more work into that later on. Actually, we have a fun meeting tonight. We have our Cooking with Andrew and Charting with Brian show tonight, so that should be a lot of fun. I don't know whether we make that public, though. I think it's still private, but maybe we'll make it available on the site. I'm warming to the gold trade. I like the idea of the market, going parabolic into November, December. I'm not quite ready to pull triggers on setups just yet on the gold, but it sure is looking more and more attractive. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised over the next few, maybe let's say week or two, I start finding names that are setting up bullish bots, and I'm willing to take shots. But this, in my opinion, is purely a momentum trade. Sadly, just like Bitcoin at $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, I don't think you're buying value. I think you're buying momentum, humans acting extremely emotionally. And hey, we all know when these humans freak out, anything can happen in this fucking world. So, but that's my impression. And actually, I think this is the end of the move for the commodities. In fact, some people were pitching me oil ideas, and I said, look, I don't want to invest in commodities anymore. I'm done. I want to invest in growth. So I'm not even really interested in quote unquote investing. These are like playing the gold and the silver and the metals names into this peak. That's what it is in my eyes. It's the peak, not the beginning. It's the end. But that's me. And that's the great part about the market. That's the great part about your freedoms. Don't let countries like China steal this shit away from you. We have the choice. We have the freedom to say, I think the market's going to go up. I'm going to put my money to work. And if my thesis is correct, I'm going to get paid. Please, everybody, if it's one message you hear from Brian through 2020, don't let these totalitarian dictatorships take these freedoms away from you, because once they're gone, they probably won't come back. So, fight for your right to party. All right, moving on. Risk on, risk off, kind of muddled. There's not a hell of a lot of appetite in the junior market right now. When I look at the names, like we had our TRI SOF meeting last night, we're kind of like, it's a little bit too early to get too aggressive on the buy side. It's probably a little too late to be a seller in earnest. If your names are breaking down, you probably should respect that and hop off. Kind of a... like this BITK. This would probably be a perfectly good example. I mean, if you want to be sellers, hopefully doubles are up top here. You want to be buyer. Well, buyer's down here, and here's the stock sitting basically the middle of the range. I can't really do anything there. And there's a lot of names that look like this, like Mr. Barstool. Here's our bottom. Here's the top. Here we are sitting middle of the range. This, to me, this kind of market right now, it's kind of a coin toss. I mean, we could go either way. And especially with all this crazy, COVID stuff. I mean, if they've jammed the kids back into the classrooms, if the cases start ramping up and all hell breaks loose, we're probably going to be right back in the soup. And if we think about, fear, greed cycles, and that prognostication of sort of like November pivots, I like the idea that the market tanks into that election, but it's a sell the rumor, buy the news event. I got rid of my goddamn gold or the S&P chart where I had all this mapped out, so kind of sucks. I can't show you, but anyway, well, there's a little bit one, but anyway, July we had a pivot, right, and then I'm expecting another pivot here in November, and I think it's going to be a buy signal. So anyway, we'll see what happens. So you can see sort of prognostications. That's what I'm looking for out of the stock market, and dead cat bounces. That's what I'm looking at of the energy market. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. Individual stocks, like I said there a moment ago, the indexes itself, kind of wishy-washy. Our breadth indicator never did turn back up bullish, which sucks. I mean, I wanted it to be bull. I wanted them to come back from their vacations and just go on a big fucking buying orgy. But they didn't, right? So that means we got to just temper our enthusiasm. Breadth, of course, is oversold. But you can't put, what do they say? Don't put the cart in front of the horse. It just doesn't work. So if this is really a bull, we will see the bull come in. We will see the buyers come in. We will see these moving averages cross. And we'll be back in a bull phase and rah, rah, rah. But we're not quite there just yet. The way I've been sort of suggesting it to site people is you can hunt things like lower time frame, 4-hour setups, that kind of stuff. Like this shit perp index. Actually, there was one name in particular that looked really interesting. Trade it at your discretion. I'm not telling you what to buy or sell. Couldn't give a shit. What I'm just pointing out is, people on the site are, constantly hunting setups. I'm in there buying value, and, my value buys look all fine. Nothing to be like, oh, hey, we're banging out doubles. It's really quiet. But, like there's this OMG, which seems to be very popular. We had like Link try to put in a bottom and then it failed. So you better respect stops, that kind of stuff. I don't see anything on Link right now. But this OMG looked really interesting. Just simply in the fact that these markets are so incredibly volatile that you can see this W within a bigger W. If this comes in and we get to move just back to this trend line, just back to this 38.2. Remember, this is a 4-hour chart. That's almost a 3-to-1 risk reward. So this is the context that of the market state we're in. There's no guarantees that this trade idea is going to work. Brian and his crazy W's. You want to hunt for divergences. You want to hunt for volume breakouts, Davos, whatever. It's fine. But I did find it very interesting that this kind of chart pattern is developing. And like I said earlier, the buyers haven't come back, but if they do, right, and the real slick risk takers are coming in and forcing themselves to take risks against lows, and this happens to work, and hey, the bull comes back in earnest, and we start firing things like bot levels, try and force yourself just to hold on to a little bit of this trade, because really we might be jacking our way all the way up here. Seen it happen before. Wouldn't be the first time. So that's sort of the stage I think we're in the market. The market obviously took a big, it's a pretty good example. Market took a big punch in the nose. Too far, too fast. What are you doing? Don't chase. Market's corrected. You can see it's already come back 66% of this entire range. So we've definitely done reload zones. And now the question is, do we start putting in higher highs and higher lows and start working our way back up? I think, off of things like bots and, whether you look at Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, doesn't really matter. It's all the same. You're way, way, way too early to be thinking about that. Gold, same thing. Still a bit too early. But those guys, swing traders that are coming in can define risk very sharply. There are some interesting ideas developing here. That's sort of the market state I see right now. So we'll keep an eye on this one. We'll keep them on the screen. Let's see what happens. You can see how close the breakout came. Never did come. If this thing can tick back up through that breakout level, I think she's off to the races. So anyway, it should be a fun anecdote for us to follow in the days and weeks and months and years to come. I don't know. Okay, I think I'll leave the rant at that. Sure hope you got some value out of that. I think it's a good analogy of what market state is. You know, you can see Link is fighting like a dog, but I don't like the look of this trend line. We're below this trend line. I don't like that. I would prefer, you know, let's go and W out on the other side of trend lines. Probably not the best example off of that either. We're looking at daily versus 4 hour. That's kind of apples and oranges. There were a couple really cute ones that, like this Algorand. I mean, if you're a fan of Algorand, all they've done here is they've just backed this thing up into a reload zone. What a surprise. Don't chase. Draw your fibs. Be patient and disciplined. Looks like you just got a gift. Anyway, that's the kind of situation I see in the market. Probably a little bit too early to get too bullish. And now, obviously, in hindsight, you can see we're probably a little too late to be a seller. So, okay, everybody. The only other thing I'll leave you with, of course, is we have our fall education program coming up, starting in earnest here in the next week or so. You know, Kevin's added this little description of the site, an enrollment form, make it really easy for you to sign up. You can see we got about a week until this thing kicks in. What I really like about this site, I've said it before, is it's a great summary of just sort of what we do and what people's impressions are of the work that we do and how we work with people. Again, we don't pay anybody. These are all completely voluntarily done. It just gives you a really good, I tell you, it gives me nice warms and fuzzies just coming on this site and just seeing the positive difference we make in people's lives. So we've got this coming up. School term will start, I guess, basically you can see in about a week. And congratulations to Tommy 1. I think we got in contact with you, so congratulations on winning our raffle. And let's get ready to set yourself up to be professionals at this game, and seriously set you up to own this world. I'll tell you, the people that are all schooled up and understand markets and sort of see the bigger picture, oh my goodness, next like 5-10 years, there's lots and lots and lots of Lambos to be made out there. So take the time now, invest in yourself. And let's get you running that small business of trading for a profit. All right. Have yourselves a great day. All the best. Thank you. Kavarkinator, Joshua, Sjord, and Julian. That's 4. Thank you and appreciations on the day. You guys are all awesome. Thank you, Grim. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you, Murad. Thank you, Kevin. Did I say Kevin already? Can't remember. And of course, anybody else that I missed on the TRI team, thank you, and thank you. All right, bye everybody. Oh, and the only thing left for Brian to say at this point is bye for now.